you hate MR2s, you hate driving.
Dear MR2, why can't I quit you? This is a 300 wheel horsepower SW20 Turbo Gen 4 3S GTE engine swap. It's everything you want in 90s turbocharging with late 90s engine design. Gone are the nests of vacuum lines. In are the filled promises that computers made in the late 80s. This MR2 makes a sturdy 16 pounds of boost through a wide power band and an engine that happily breathes forced induction all day long. Ever jerk off in a sleeping bag? Ever shove your history worksheet down your pants in the bathroom before handing it to Mrs. Kreiner because you know she jerks off her Pomeranian? The whole school knows. Ever take a shit during the day? Ever use a t-shirt as a spanker, Chief? Ever watch a black and white TV without sound while thinking about all that second base band bus action which was shoveled your way but you were too much of a dweeb to notice because you had a Game Boy Advance and a cost-portable CD player spinning all the pain money can buy by fastball? That's what it's like to drive this, reclaiming all those missed opportunities. For my emotions, the MR2 series is the greatest car ever built. A divine trilogy. The second generations were the largest and the fastest, and now with the fourth gen engine swap they can be even faster and even more reliable. Some people will say that turbo fluttering is a bad noise, that it's hurting something, but it's not always the case. This turbo fluttering is normal and it's not hurting anything. So spool away and flutter away. A Gen 4 3S GTE has the perfect amount of turbo lag. About 1.5 seconds to 2 if you're mashing it in 5th gear. And then the surge comes, and it builds, and it builds, and it builds, and it gets louder and louder and louder, and you're driving a jet. There is fear, joy, and respect all together in this cheap little mid-engine car from the 90s. Enough of me yakking. Let's hear this thing run.
Dear MR2s, why can't I quit you?
All right, so the question you're asking is, how do I get entered to win this awesome giveaway car? Well, it's real easy. You go to our website, primedriven.com. Every $5 equals 1 automatic entry, and you will get an email confirmation of your order and then another email confirmation with the number of entries you have, as long as you create an account first.
And I forgot how close these pedals are. Uh-oh. So whoever wins this car is gonna get my feet. My bare feet have been on your pedals. Whoever wins this vehicle.
That's no extra charge. It's thrown in.
Oh. But this is a Gen 4 swapped SW20 turbo, bigger turbo. Well, wow. Hot car. T-tops, glass. I'm going to drink from your toilet when we get back.
I got good news. We got water bottles.
Oh, thank gosh.
Only the best.
So do I want to wait until... Well, we're already off the peg. I guess this car's been run already.
Yeah, I mean, we drove it out to get more gas this morning, so...
We're in the middle of, for those of you guys who are watching this later, we are having a hot September. Oh boy. Well, let's make it hotter. Let's get this engine temperature up. I am in 3rd gear on a back road, and I have no idea where it goes, but I'm about to lay into it. 3,000 RPM. What's the size of the turbo?
It's just a 48 millimeter upgraded billet wheel.
Okay, with a boost controller.
Yep, running 16
here it gets
pounds.
on boost. Oh God, this is hot. You know, there are people who like MR2s, and then there are people who don't, and then there are people who like Roy Orbison's music, and then there are people who hate music. If you hate MR2s, you hate driving. Oh my goodness, this is a happy car. So, I can understand when people boost these things up and then take them to a racetrack, you have to be a higher level driver. But gosh darn it, just for cruising this thing, I hope this camera is please picking up this fluttering. Because this is like a joygasm sound. What
this car is basically what we call the kitchen sink swap. So full Gen 4 3S GTE, upgraded billet, factory turbo, upgraded intercooler, electronic boost controller running 16 pounds to run up to 17 and change before you hit the boost cut at 18. Making 300 wheel everywhere because it's the modified factory turbo. It spools 2,000, makes power all the way to red line.
300 horsepower to the wheel.
Yep. Yeah, so if you were to compare that to, let's say, a bone stock factory SW20 with a Gen 2 in it, that makes 170 wheels. So this is, yeah, not quite double, but in terms of effective power band, it's triple. It makes ridiculous amounts of torque.
Because I'm in fifth gear.
Oh yeah, you can drive around at 1,000 RPM in a Gen 4.
Right.
Yeah, a Gen 2 just falls on its face below 3,000. It really takes till 4,000 until it's really doing anything, and then it promptly ends at 55 on a stock turbo. The Gen 4, even on the factory turbo, the CT15B, it makes power all the way up to the mid sixes. The upgraded billet adds another basically 30 wheel at the top end and pulls all the way through redline, which is the factory 7250.
Oh, your brakes are good. Are they just stock brakes, or are they
just normal stuff? EDC yellow pads. You can go straight. But yeah, so this has got the fully dressed Gen 4, which is what most people know us for.
Yeah.
It's got BC coilovers, XXR 527 wheels, 8 1/4 front, 9 3/4 rear, and a plus 25 offset. Yokohama S-Drive tires. Standard, yeah, factory brakes, just with you know, upgraded ABC yellow pads, braided lines, you know, fresh fluid, just the basic stuff. Nothing crazy. 93 plus short shifter, 93 plus.
I really like how this notches through. It's not the Toyota. That was one of my criticisms of the AW11, how truck-like its shifter was. I mean, it was okay, but I was used to Hondas that are just abuse them. This feels more like a Honda shifter, and I mean that as a compliment.
Yeah, and I totally agree. Honda shifters are typically substantially better than the MR2 stuff is. Partially, obviously, because we got a little bit more cable going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, the 93 lever, the upgraded knob, because these upgraded knobs we have are weighted, which the factory ones were too. So you get a really nice, correct factory short shift, not a arbitrarily short and high effort, you know, factory short shift you'd get from a B&M or, you know, any of the old school stuff.
Right. From a driving perspective, and the beautiful thing, aside from my feet, I have wide feet. There's no way to get around this. So if you've got 6E feet like me, you may be driving in your socks. But the good news about SW20s, unlike AW11s, is there's more room to stretch out on the inside. Oh, and they pull hills.
Yeah, she'll pull anywhere. That was actually the original reason we came up with the Gen 4 6+ years ago as a swap. Was it's not so much the power, like yes, it makes more power, but it's the power curve, the power under the curve. These motors, they're just, your entire rev range is the power curve, whereas in a Gen 2 you stay straight. You know, a Gen 2 and even a Gen 3 just to a lesser extent.
Okay, yeah, this is bogged a little bit right now. Oh, already it's over, and now we're back into it again.
Yeah, like if you're at 2,000 in third or fourth, then you just put your foot down and give it 2 seconds. But it's going. Whereas in a Gen 2, you got to downshift. Like, yeah, it's just not going to have it.
Yeah.
You go backwards if you're below 2,000 RPM. But yeah, so and then as far as making the car pretty, which obviously the people love, you know, this got one of our standard setups on it, upgraded 93 front lip, Gretty sides, the Bomex replica wing, and this beautiful carmine red, which I think came out nice.
Oh, very nice. Wraps are really the way to go. Like, unless you want to drop, like, to get a good paint job, you're talking almost the same price as it took to build the car. Sometimes you gotta scrape everything down to get that. Whereas a wrap, it's great.
Yeah, I mean, the reality of a paint job on an MR2 especially is most paint body guys aren't even going to want to touch it because they know half the parts you can't get if you break them in terms of exterior trim. Glass, you can't replace glass except for the windshield. The rear glass is completely irreplaceable and it's very easy to break if you pull it. So most of your MR2 paint jobs you're going to do with the glass in for that reason. And a really good tape job, it's going to be still pretty good, but you're going to pay $4 or $5 grand easy. But you have to find someone willing to do it, which is the harder part. The money is really secondary. It's finding someone that wants to be bothered because most of them just don't want the liability. Understandably.
Yeah.
I mean, even we can't get every single exterior trim piece. We may have it from the old days, but you know, we don't have a million of those, and those will disappear eventually too.
Sweating like a piggy, oink. And where's my reverse? There it is. Oh, sorry. Oh, I stalled it.
The lightweight flywheel makes that easier to do. That's not 100% you.
Oh, you can already see the windows steaming up. All right. All right, gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for with all MR2s. It's the crazy dig out. Oh my gosh. I think I'm going to put that first so we can hear that a few more times. That is music to anybody's ears. All right, let's get these windows down. Oh, that's so good.
That's better.